Becoming a parent is like navigating through a maze where you have all the knowledge gaps. As parents are not trained in neuropsychology, occupational therapy, speech therapy, education, and the list goes on and on. Understanding what's right for my child, their specific stage of development and skill set becomes a big challenge with an ever-increasing amount of noise and alternatives. I know this firsthand. As a child, I couldn't read until age 12 and saw how my parents were lost in the world of child development. This is why I decided that my life mission would be preventing this from happening for both children and parents. At GiantLeap, we make it easy, helping parents navigate their child's development by helping them make data-driven decisions from the comfort of their home. How it works is by having your child play our gamified versions of benchmark assessments that test for brain, language, social, and motor development. Then parents answer our easy-to-follow questionnaires designed to understand the child's functioning in both home and school environments. We then provide parents with clarity, providing them with a detailed overview of how the child's brain is wired, what measurements we collected, and how these measurements relate to the child's day-to-day life. GiantLeap doesn't just make this data accessible for parents. It guides them on how to use this data by providing them with a narrow and concise quarterly action plan of best-suited content, products, and services for their children. The GiantLeap quarterly cycle works as follows. Evaluate, get your child's personalized scientific insights, get your personalized action plan, develop and learn, reassess and adapt. It used to take a village. Now all it takes is GiantLeap. Thank you for listening.
So, Ori, this is clearly sort of pandemic perfect. You've got parents at home with their children, which they love to bits, and the children are loving being with their parents, but this gives parents to do something a little bit beyond homeschooling and really understand things more than, sitting in the kitchen and seeing their child watching a Zoom class. Given this, can you talk just a little bit about pricing and availability around the world?
Sure. So as far as pricing, what we have today is that the core value of GiantLeap is provided in 3-month cycles, as I explained briefly before. So it starts at $49.99, and then an annual subscription is $149.99. And the core value of GiantLeap is always provided in 3-month cycles, right? Where you do the gamified evaluation, you get an action plan, then you do a reevaluation and adapt to the things that you can now see about your child, whether that is areas that they excel at or areas where they need additional support in.
With the $49.99 price point, are you expecting to have any kind of human intervention, so in the evaluation process? Because generally, anything that's like more than $9.99 a month, people expect effectively a very premium service.
So how GiantLeap works is that after you get the evaluation, we provide you with 3 different things that comprise the action plan. And that is content that is relevant, parent-child activities that are relevant, and referrals to care providers or professionals that are relevant.
Ori, I echo that this is an amazing product. I had a son who used to walk around his chair in the middle of class, and they wanted to put him into special ed. He's now an amazing product manager. And it took till we knew how to figure out how to teach him. So I absolutely concur with what John said. Tell me a little bit more about your background besides your issues that you couldn't read until 12. Tell me about your background and your team that really understands the educational part of this and the evaluation.
I really struggled as a child. I was in a very different place than where you see me today. And that was what led me. I saw how my parents, which I come from a family that was, very aware, right? I didn't come from a rich family, but I came from a family that my father was a professor, mom was a teacher. They were very aware of me, and they wanted to provide what's best for me. And I saw how even in this type of family, my parents were struggling, and I was struggling. And the reason I'm talking to you today is I have great parents, right? They tried to provide what's best for me, but it was really difficult for them when their son couldn't read until such a late stage in his life. And when I saw that my parents are trying to help me, but they weren't able to, and I felt like I hope someone would one day fix me and was struggling in school, I knew that one day I would want to come back and pursue this. And I knew this is something I want to prevent for children and parents alike. So that was the motivation for GiantLeap. And then we said, okay, in order for us to make a product that people trust, we need what we called back then the kosher stamps. And that was kosher stamps from the medical community and kosher stamps from the educational community, that what we're doing beneficial for children, is science-backed, and people will trust to, random Israeli tech guys to do it. So we were pretty lucky. And in the very beginning, I partnered with one of my childhood friends, Nadav, who was was the former head of graphics and architecture for the technological arena of the IDF intelligence. And we partnered with a team of researchers here in Israel and in the US. And 2 months after we founded the company, we started getting vetted for the Texas Medical Center Innovation Institute.
Ori, can you tell us a little bit about how you plan to reach the customer? Are you trying to reach the parents directly? Are you going to reach them? You mentioned some partnerships. How do you see, distributing and reaching the customer?
Great question. So we have B2B2C partnerships. 3 of them we already signed. One of them is with one of the largest tutoring companies in the US called Advantage Testing.
Yep.
What we offer is we come to tutoring companies, daycare centers, private schools, and also gradually we'll increase to other partnerships. And we tell them, listen, today your business is mainly based on reputation. And what we can provide you is 2 things that you will not have without us. One is a technological advantage for a tool that will be extremely difficult for you to develop yourself. And the second thing is for you to have a new revenue channel that you will not have without us. When you go to these $9.99 educational apps, you get a buffet of things, right? An endless amount of content. You have no idea what to do with it. And we do the exact opposite. We try to understand who is the parent, who is the child, how much do they want to be involved, what's the level of parental involvement, and then what are the needs and skill set of the child. And according to this, we do the matching and the recommendations for the content, the parent-child activities, and the services that the child would need or could benefit from.